In a shocking twist that's electrified diplomatic circles and economic analysts alike, President Donald Trump has doubled down on a monumental infrastructure commitment in Africa, a $5 billion mega rail project stretching across Angola, Zambia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Despite unleashing sweeping tariffs that have rattled many African economies, Trump has vowed to see the massive Lobito Corridor to completion, signaling a dramatic escalation in America's economic stakes on the continent. What lies behind this strategic about-face? And what might it mean for the future of Central and Southern Africa? The Lobito Corridor, long considered one of Africa's most ambitious transportation undertakings, is designed to connect the mineral-rich heartlands of the DRC and Zambia to Angola's Atlantic coastline via a sprawling rail network. Once completed, this rail artery will open up direct export routes for some of the world's most coveted resources, copper, cobalt, and other strategic minerals critical for electric vehicles, battery manufacturing, and AI data centers. The first phase involves modernizing a 1,300-kilometer rail line through Angola, with a second phase under study that would extend the link deeper into Zambia. In total, it's an 800-kilometer mega-lifeline expected to ignite investment across sectors like mining, agriculture, and energy. For context, this 800-kilometer Lobito corridor will be 13 times the length of the Grand Canyon, a reminder of just how ambitious this infrastructure truly is. What's perhaps most astonishing is that this project was born under Trump's predecessor, Joe Biden, as a key pillar of US engagement with Africa. In many other areas, Trump has sought to unravel Biden-era initiatives, yet here, he's chosen to reinforce them. Why? Analysts are scrambling to unpack the political calculus. Is this a rare moment of bipartisan continuity, or is Trump's motivation far more transactional? Indeed, Trump's Liberation Day tariffs, introduced to curb what he called unfair trade practices and foreign exploitation, have left several African economies reeling. Many countries, including Angola, Zambia, and the DRC, have already felt the sting of exclusion from the African Growth and Opportunity Act, a US trade program that once provided duty-free access for thousands of products. Against this backdrop of rising protectionism, Trump's insistence on completing the Lobito corridor seems almost contradictory. But those familiar with Trump's business-first philosophy see a clear thread: the minerals. Copper and cobalt aren't just metals. They are the backbone of future technologies. From electric vehicles to high-capacity batteries and AI hardware, demand for these resources is surging. The DRC alone supplies over 70% of the world's cobalt, with the US playing catch-up in the global mineral race, especially against China. Trump's commitment to the Lobito project could be a power play aimed at securing long-term access to critical supply chains, even as he weaponizes tariffs elsewhere. In Trump's worldview, securing minerals might be worth bending other ideological rules. Support from US institutions has already passed the billion-dollar mark. The US International Development Finance Corporation has pledged a staggering $553 million direct loan to upgrade and operate the rail line. Add that to contributions from the European Union, the African Development Bank, and the Africa Finance Corporation, and the project's financial backbone begins to look formidable. Still, the road ahead is riddled with challenges. From political instability in the DRC to logistical hurdles in Angola and cross-border regulatory fragmentation. Yet, if it succeeds, the benefits for Central and Southern Africa could be transformative. Today, mineral exports from the interior often face bottlenecks, delays, and excessive costs due to crumbling infrastructure and outdated logistics. The Lobito corridor would cut down transit times, lower export costs, and open up global markets in ways previously unimaginable. Zambia, Africa's largest copper producer, stands to gain immensely, as does the DRC, whose economic development has long been stifled by its landlocked geography and fractured transport systems. From Angola's perspective, the project is nothing short of a national renaissance. With the once glorious Benguela Railway lying in decay, revitalizing it as a central artery in this new corridor offers the oil-rich nation a rare opportunity to diversify its economy and reassert its regional relevance. Angolan officials reportedly view the project as a strategic rebirth for the nation's export infrastructure. For Zambia, a country increasingly seeking alternatives to Chinese debt-driven infrastructure, the American-backed project offers a geopolitical pivot. Zambian authorities are cautiously optimistic, seeing it as a way to reposition the country in global supply chains and reduce its dependency on Chinese-controlled ports. The DRC, long plagued by insecurity and infrastructure decay, faces the steepest hurdles. The local officials and mining firms are keeping a close eye. The project could unlock billions in revenue by streamlining the movement of minerals from the copper belt to global markets. Still, concerns remain about governance, environmental risk, and whether the benefits will truly reach local populations or be siphoned off by foreign companies. From the borderlands of Central and Southern Africa, the Lobito Corridor could herald a new era of regional integration. It promises to knit together economies with a shared interest in mineral development, create cross-border trade synergies, and reduce historical dependencies on colonial-era trade routes that often bypassed African interest in favor of European ports. And yet, there's unease. Critics argue that Trump's sudden enthusiasm might mask deeper motives, funding for health, education, and democracy programs across Africa, insisting that America First means reducing foreign aid unless it brings clear returns. Could the Lobito Corridor simply be a Trojan horse for resource extraction? Or worse, a flash-in-the-pan commitment that could evaporate with the next tweet or trade war? Then there's the China angle. Beijing has been pouring billions into Africa's infrastructure for over 2 decades, often with few political strings attached. The Lobito Corridor, with its Western backers, is viewed in some circles as Washington's long overdue counterstrike in the new great game for Africa's resources. But unlike China's Belt and Road Initiative, the Lobito Corridor hinges on partnerships and public-private investments, not sovereign debt. Could this mark the beginning of a more sustainable development model for Africa, or will it fall prey to the same old patterns of dependency? For now, President Trump appears unwavering. According to senior US diplomats, he views the Lobito Corridor not just as a trade project, but as a strategic necessity for both American industry and global geopolitical leverage. It's a rare moment where Trump's often unilateral foreign policy has found common cause with African aspirations, albeit through the lens of mineral extraction and economic gain. What happens next? That remains the million-dollar question. Will Trump's commitment withstand the volatile winds of global politics? Will Angola, Zambia, and the DRC find unity in this shared vision? Or will competing interests derail the effort? And perhaps most crucially, will African citizens, the miners, farmers, and workers whose futures hang in the balance, truly benefit from this monumental endeavor? Only time will tell whether the Lobito Corridor becomes Africa's new economic backbone, or yet another broken promise buried beneath the continent's red dust. But for now, the world watches, because when Trump puts his name on something, the stakes are never low. Your perspective matters. What do you make of Donald Trump's commitment to completing the $5 billion Lobito Corridor mega rail project? Share your thoughts and insights in the comment section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.